Leo, it doesn't have to be an earth sign like a Taurus or a Capricorn or a Virgo that you're dealing with, but some of you cannot let go of something. So we can see here that Death card and Queen of Pentacles, and both in reverse, really talk about clinging on to something and a resistance to change or letting go of something. I sense that some of you are almost like replaying old arguments or still placing blame or allocating some sort of burden onto the person you're with. It's like a real refusal not to let go. Now, it doesn't have to be with a earth sign like a Taurus, but if it is, it seems like, or really in general, Leo, whoever you're dealing with, I'm seeing a lot of fixed sign energy here, like Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or even a fellow Leo. So take this and how it resonates and leave the rest, Leo. But you're replaying like past mistakes now, past failures, and you're just not ready to let go of something yet. We're going to look at these cards together and pull up some more. I can see that this is a majorly important union, so I'm sure it's not going to be easy to give up something or let go of something. And I don't see this being any ending of a relationship, but something happened within this really significant, powerful union that you're just not finding it the easiest to move on from and kind of like navigate away from. Some of you are very much still in like this hermit mode of looking over every little single thing about what had taken place, really examining it and fine-tooth combing the situation. Some level of happiness really has been restored. It just seems to be one thing you can't change or won't let go of, and all in all, everything has seemed to have been pretty much resolved apart from whatever this is. We're going to get into the more nitty-gritty and clear up cards for each of these messages coming through. It seems like the person that you're dealing with would, if anything, just be kind of like confused as to your behavior. They have given you so much validation and they have given you so much support. And if anything, it's you that's showing a lack of disinterest in the relationship at the moment while you do other things. They're standing firm in the decisions that they've made, feeling like basically, Leo, that they've always kind of made the best decisions for your relationship at this point. Okay, let's look at these cards together. Looking first at what you're finding difficult to let go of or to bring about change surrounding. Let's pull a card from that perspective. Okay, so the Chariot. Something is ready to go. You've been holding on for this for a little bit too long at this point. Death card is indicating that you actually do need to change something or let go of something. That is why this opportunity has presented itself, for you to move something forward or move something to a better phase than how it is right now. Some of you are really finding it hard to let go of the last incident that happened. And especially like if you're also with somebody that is equally as stubborn as you, Leo. And this is, Leo, you're fixed fire, so you could be dealing with another fixed sign, and it's difficult because you both are very, very strong-willed and firm and resolute in your opinion, and you don't really seem to be backing down. Okay, so the Chariot card is saying like this is enough, like enough time, like I said in the Hermit, has been spent thinking about this. It's time to like bring this relationship back to life, as it were. Death card is like, okay, so we want this relationship to come back to life, as bright, as sparky, as fun as it was previously, and you're looking for that again and you want that again, but whatever happened, you're not really fully ready to let go of the mistakes or fully bring about this whole brand new fresh start, total change. Like you have to let go completely of the past. We're going to look at the Hermit now in relation to basically what have you been thinking about, what have you been spending all your time going inward, reflecting on. Internally, some of you may even feel like you have sort of a wall up between you and your person now. You feel more distant, more removed from them. Let's have a look. If the situation occurred for some Leos, this is coming up for me now. We see the Hermit looking at a laptop. Was there some snooping that had been going on, Leo, and what you discovered was more than you had imagined it could be, and it was like it opened up the doors for way more problems than you had thought was possible. And there was one particular problem that just is very difficult for you to let go of, or something that cropped up. It could have been somebody else that, you know, you were surprised to see that the person you were dealing with had even been speaking to, let alone anything else. So that might have been just something that you felt was very unfair. Something else could have come up when you were looking into something that just seemed super unfair. It seemed like, for some, I'm sensing like it gave another person like an unfair leg up, or it didn't really sit well with you on a kind of ethical or like in a moral sense. Let's have a look at the Ten of Cups. But you guys were able to work things out and restore a sense of harmony, at least on the surface. And things have seemed to have been picking up. Yeah, Temperance card is absolutely saying that this was a very well achieved balance that you found between the two of you again. You both co-created this happiness again. You know, it really does carry through, not just surface. When we clear it up and go deeper, it does show that you have learned how to mediate, you've learned how to kind of communicate with each other, restore a greater sense of intimacy in the relationship. I think for some, Leo, intimacy had been what was missing, or what had been, at least, even, let me think about it. If intimacy hadn't been missing in a physical sense, I'm not really talking about a physical sense. Taurus and Scorpio are both extremely intimate signs and both linked to sex itself. It seems like that had been all fine, but there needed to be a transformation of the Cancer season card during Cancer season that's just passed, of the emotional heart that Cancer is. But we know Leo is connected with the heart as a body part in medicinal astrology, but Cancer is linked to the heart too, insofar as Cancer is ruled by the moon, which is really the heart of our chart and our feeling. So the Chariot is saying that you may have had to look closer at emotional parts of your relationship. Okay, and let's see. Eight of Wands is saying that it was the kind of conversations that you've been having with your person recently have been really quick, have been really successful. Basically, you've made a lot of headway with your person. So we have this Chariot, Eight of Wands, and the Chariot now, both on a motorcycle. Before, in the past, conversation was very rushed, but you did make a lot of progress, loads of progress, and now you're really kind of seeing like, oh, we've connected even deeper on an emotional level, or you understand me more, or you know, you've been more vulnerable with each other. Maybe that's come up for you. Five of Swords, okay, so there is a real desire here still, Leo, though, not to let whatever has happened that has hurt you completely die. Sometimes you feel like you even kind of go into Five of Swords mode in reverse, like when you're bored and you pick an argument, or you say, oh, well, remember when you did this, like when, you know, the timing just might not be right for that. The Ten of Wands in reverse. This was this wall I thought you were starting to build up in the distance with this person that you're dealing with, like starting to build a barrier between you. Also, this is overload. I had a sense that whatever you saw in the, like if there was any snooping or any looking into, it was too much for you to handle. It was like overload of information. Well, I didn't expect to see that. I feel like with this card combination, you kind of had gone inward and didn't realize that you would unearth so much. Okay, so that was coming up with the Five of Swords. So you're inclined now to be blaming, or to be saying, well, remember you did this in the Five of Swords, and you caused me this problem, this problem, this problem. I see that could be what's happening. But you resist temptation, Leo, and you take the high road. You would like to say those things, or you've thought about it, but you take the high road. You say, it's not going to be worth the stress. Let me move on from that. Let me try and continue on our journey of more enlightenment and more peace, and kind of just finding your way back to each other. You're, you know, as you go into a kind of calmer phase of the way mentally, I get this kind of sense of boredom again, that you would just start to try and kind of stir things up again. I see this as sort of like, playing games with people's mind. So yeah, these mind games could be coming up if you're feeling bored. I wouldn't provoke, it's kind of like, don't try and, I don't know, like play a game on somebody, play a trick. That's what's coming up for me. Okay. The Four of Cups. Ultimately, Leo, you have to tell the person that you're dealing with what it is that you want, what it is that you're interested in. Eight of Swords. What it is that makes you feel stuck. I feel like their insecurities are coming through a lot, and that is in turn kind of making you feel responsible for their happiness in a way, or feeling like you need to overcompensate to cheer them up. The Justice card. You don't have to be dealing with a Libra, but Justice card could be saying that the person that you're dealing with at this time is weighing up a pretty important decision. It doesn't have to be a Libra, but the person you're dealing with could be making some choices that you are having doubts about. You don't know if what they will choose in the Two of Pentacles is going to be the right choice. You wonder how far you can step in there or even give advice. Let's have a look at what's coming up around Justice. Page of Swords. It could be an air sign that you're dealing with, but not specifically. But if this is the case, they are kind of involved in something that you think is pretty risky. You think it could be even a risk legally, and you're not really sure if they should be doing what they're doing. It could be something to do with medicine. It could be something to do with changing doctors. It could be doing, I feel like, the person you're dealing with is trying to get legal advice at the moment, or some sort of representation, because what they're going to take on or do seems like kind of out there to you, seems like a risk. So we're leaving this reading with two stunning cards, the Empress and the Lovers card for Leo. So let's have a look at how this all turns out. As I can tell so far on surface level, it looks like it's turning out wonderfully, but let's go a little deeper on this. Ooh, okay. The Empress and Lovers for Leo. Okay, so this is coming up kind of as the period after these decisions are made, after you've moved on and been able to kind of find some harmony in the relationship again. There's a period of more plain sailing. Your partner's life gets busier. That may affect yours. But overall, as we leave the reading, the Lovers card and the Empress is coming up with the Two of Swords and coming up with the Nine of Pentacles. So for whatever reason, there may be a momentary distance or sort of cut in ties where, Leo, you are more working on solo projects rather than in the union. And if that's the case, the things that you have to say no to in the relationship, or like offers that come up, your person wants you to do this, that, or the other with them, you're going to have to start saying no to things that kind of just set a healthy boundary, because there's so many blessings coming in for you. I talked earlier in this reading, I got the sense that some of you had to compensate a lot for your partner's ennui, or they've got the blues, or they're laid off work and they're struggling, and you've had to really ramp up the attention and focus and duty in the relationship almost. You don't want to block any blessings that are coming in for you by having to say no to things that seem really aligned. Even if it does mean that the Nine of Pentacles, you have to do some work on your own or fulfill a duty on your own or a service, that's okay, because as we can see here, the Lovers card is being watched over by the Temperance wings too. And when you learned how to soothe things out in your relationship again, and when you learned how to communicate and restore intimacy, your domestic angel guide was very happy to see this, and you're continuing to be led towards something higher with your person. Okay, great. that is going to be your reading, Leo. I hope you enjoyed.